I'm Tana Melky. I am the executive chef at Walla Walla University and the executive chef owner of Botano Hellenic Taverna. So I started in the industry about 2007. 2007 when I was living in Boston. Yes, that was like 15 years ago. So what got me? I have a degree in biology and genetics. I was going to go to med school and I was like burnt out a little bit and exhausted. There were some other things at play. I grew up cooking a lot for my family starting when I was 12, and I cooked a lot with my grandmothers when I was a kid, and I just, I don't know, I've always loved it, and I was always passionate about it. So I just said, you know, I'm gonna go stage somewhere. So I just like go and see what it's like to be in a restaurant, and I did that, and then I was like, you know, this is something that could be really amazing. And I was dating this guy whose dad was a political writer for The Atlantic, and his best friend was the food reviewer for The Atlantic. And I like asked for an introduction and invited him over for dinner. I was like, hey, could you introduce me to the best chef you know in Boston? And so he introduced me to Gordon Hammersley, and then I started there for about 2 years working for free. We don't really allow that in America anymore. But I worked my way through all the positions. So I started just washing lettuces and doing some day prep stuff, and then eventually working on the line, and worked my way up through the kitchen in a non-paid role, like all the way up to like a sous level position, I guess. You don't really understand working in a kitchen until you're in the kitchen, and that's when you learn. And that's kind of, you know, the job of a chef is really to create the chefs of tomorrow, because we kind of pay it forward, right? Like the grueling hours, the low pay, you know, the weird hours too. It's like, you know, when other people are having fun, we're the ones that are providing the fun, right? I was working in restaurants in Seattle before COVID. It was really common for me to work every day of the week for weeks or months at a time, and to work 80 hours a week. That was often more normal than not, because at the end, like when you're the chef and the buck stops with you and it's your name on the door, it's like if someone doesn't show up, like that gap needs to be filled. Mostly harassment. Like that's definitely the biggest. Historically it's been a male-dominated field, which is funny because like in the home it's expected that the woman is, you know, the provider of nourishment. I moved to Greece, and my first job in Greece was at this place called Namos in Mykonos, and super famous. Like the people that run it are crazy rich, also tax evaders. Being a woman in a kitchen, but being an American woman in a Greek kitchen was nuts. I mean, like I didn't work with any other women at the time. Like even all of our servers were men. Like the only people that were women in that restaurant were the girls that worked on the beach, you know, in like bikinis and stuff and serving cocktails. And right after that, I took a job as the actual like head chef of a new restaurant, beach restaurant, kind of like more boho, called Al Magu. And I was the chef there, and my entire team had never worked with a woman before. And it was chaos. It was trying to establish some sort of like like ownership of it for myself, but also just demanding the respect was like really, really complicated. And then plus back then I didn't speak Greek, and so there was this added language barrier as well. And it was just like constantly being disrespected. I mean, I had people pull things out of their pants in the middle of the kitchen in service. I was, hazed really. But I mean, and there was a lot of great people too. It's not like every person was like this. It's just like that happened a lot, and not just actually in Greek kitchens. It happens in American kitchens too. And furthermore, like now even, I mean, today, that element that never really goes away. Like, okay, it doesn't really happen in the kitchen because like I demand respect and, you know, safe, and require a safe work environment, not only just for myself but my other employees. But the worst offenders are usually our guests. And I'll be asked to go to a table during service, and inevitably, I'll be standing at the corner and someone like a guy will just put his hand on my butt. Or if I'm saying goodbye to a guest, like I'm pre-COVID, it's like you give them a hug or something and they try to like kiss you, or they grab your waist, or, I mean, it's just kind of this weird, but would they ever do that to a male chef? Like, never. But I've actually seen like crazy drunk women like act really inappropriately to like male chefs too. So it's not like I'm alone in this, but it's much more. And then, and then you take that to the owner or whoever my boss is, and it's like, yo, your friend, your guest was like really inappropriate. And it's like, oh yeah, but they're VIP, so it's like there's this expectation that you just kind of brush it off. And I mean, like, I'm completely desensitized. So I was once drugged by my boss when we were out one night, and I woke up in a closet at one of our clients' homes. Yeah, and like a client who was also a politician. Like, and it wasn't a closet; there was a bed in it. But I mean, stuff like that happens all the time to women in this industry. And I guess there's also this other element where like they don't think you're as strong or tough, and it's like, I'm the strongest person in this kitchen. Like every day I'm schlepping around like 100 pounds of stuff, and it's like someone like, oh, let me take that for you, because you're a woman. I'm like, I'm stronger than you, like physically. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like men are more often recognized, but like look at the James Beards, they're trying to find like equalize that, but there used to be this thing, and I think it still exists, called Sexiest Chefs. There's never a woman on the list because now we're afraid to say women are sexy or attractive, but then but the men, like, of course they bask in the glow of it. Like, I felt like, I had to work twice as hard to achieve half as much. Because like also back then there was this assumption that eventually you're going to get married and like go have some babies somewhere, and like you're just going to drop all of this. So there's that kind of, the traditional family expectation, or like you're physically not capable of doing it, or you're hormonal or something like that. And yeah, it's just, but I feel like we've come a long way, and there's a lot more acceptance. You're seeing, like, even now in Greece, when I go back and work there, I mean, there's tons of women in the kitchen. Like, it's, there's all this passion towards it. It's like, for women, the double standard too, it's like, if a man is screaming at people, it's like, well, he's the boss. If a woman's screaming at people, she's a bitch.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still here. I'm still standing. So, no, it was the best decision I ever made.
My name is Kiana Rosales, and I am a lead lunch cook from Wall University. Since I was 15. Yeah, I'm 26. So. I grew up watching my mother cook at home, and it's her favorite thing to do. And just kind of sitting there with her every night, learning different things and how to make something out of nothing was really interesting to me. I think definitely certain family members are more discouraging only because of being a woman. They're like, you're not going to make it very far, or you won't make very much because you're not going to be as good. They're just not going to regard you as one of the best, like a male. It's a male-led industry, so. I think it's definitely just finding employment. It's really hard to get your foot into anywhere. It's not easy without any experience. No one's willing to give you the chance. With Tana, I've got my foot in the door because she wants to help me learn. Otherwise, I haven't really gotten anywhere that's like, okay, yeah, we're willing to teach you or train you, or you gotta go to school for it. And it's like you don't really get the chance.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier for men to get promoted, or to climb the ladder a little easier without really having to do as much as a woman would have to. Would have to do like tenfold what they, usually what they do. Not only the workload, but the cleaning and all everything that's involved in a culinary, job. So I just love cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I love making something out of just a few different ingredients, or feeding people, and just being able to have that time with like sharing your meals or what you've done, or talking over food and just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It brings people together. Well, and that's the thing too, is I was pregnant when I was here.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, what was it, my third year? This is gonna be my fourth, like not consecutively, but yeah, I was pregnant over the summer, and then I worked my whole pregnancy up until 2 weeks before my son was born, and full time, working on the weekends, 12-hour days, and it took a lot for me to get promoted or to ask for a raise, or they would always be like, oh, I forgot to put it in, but when a male cook asks you, can I be lead cook, then it's just automatic, you know what I mean? And I was like, how many times do I have to ask you, or how hard do I have to work for you to just recognize me? I had a whole child 2 weeks before I was here, you know what I mean? Like, I was literally lifting 50-pound boxes as I'm 8 months pregnant. Like, I don't know what more you can do, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And that's the thing, like you said, more women have to literally, they carry the workload, and they carry the cleaning load. We have to do everything for half the guys in here, you know what I mean? Half the guys don't clean nothing, so I have to go around behind them like their mothers, you know what I mean? But yet they get all the recognition, and it's annoying. It's more dominant.
Exactly.
Like, okay, he's a leader.
Yeah.
Well, she's just having a bad day, or she's
Yeah.
PMSing, and it's like, are you really? I can't just be firm.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say there was ever a time like I thought this is it, but like